Good morning and welcome to Grandma B's Busy Life. Today is the second episode of Slow Down and Drink the Coffee. I don't have coffee today. Today I have a chai tea, which is really kind of weird, isn't it? Chai is another word for tea, so I guess chai tea is tea. Either way, it's delicious. And today I want to talk about giving and receiving help. Speaking of help, one way that you can really help me is to help me build my channel. Some of the things that can really help me grow my channel is if you subscribe. And every interaction on the channel helps. The more interactions I get on my channel, the more YouTube will send it out to people as a suggestion. So the likes, comments, all help towards that. My dad watched my first episode of Slow Down and Drink the Coffee, where I talked about 20 frugal things that I do. And afterwards, he called me and said, Brenda, you need to do an episode on all of the help that you've received in your life. And right away, I knew that was a great topic. And I started to do some research, and I found an article about a woman in New York City who was murdered on the street and nobody stopped to help her. Now, there's a lot of things surrounding this situation. The murder itself lasted for 30 minutes. There were 38 people who witnessed it and not one person did something. Nobody called the police. Nobody stepped in to help. Nobody tried to scare the person away. Nobody did anything. What they found afterwards, asking those 38 people why they didn't step in, you would think it was because they were afraid of being hurt themselves. And although that did come up, the biggest reason they found that people did not step in was that they knew there were lots of other people watching, lots of other people around. They were surrounded by people and could see that there were other people in the vicinity. And all of them assumed that someone else did something, that someone else called the police, that someone else was going to help her, and nobody did. And through research, they found that this is the case more often than not. The more people that are available to help, the fewer people that help. They call this the bystander effect. So if there are lots of people that could help, that guilt of not helping is diminished, because if I'm not the only person who saw it and nobody else helped, well, then that my responsibility is lessened. I'm not saying I agree with this. I'm just saying that's what they found, how people felt. And that if I was the only person witnessing it, or I believed I was the only person witnessing it, I would feel more responsible to make the call to 911. So I started thinking about that and how that works. You know, I have a large family. If we just count from me and Grandpa B down, all of our kids and grandkids, there are 24 of us. We have a huge group. One thing I'm very proud of is we don't have the bystander effect in our family. My kids jump to help each other. If one of them's moving, we all show up. If one of them needs something, we jump in. Our family supports each other. And I love that about my kids. But I don't think that that's something that has happened just by circumstance. I think it started with my parents. I was a single parent most of my child rearing days. I would not have made it without help from my parents and my brother and my sister and their spouses. My parents did so much for me. My mom babysat my kids for free when I couldn't afford to pay for daycare. My dad always believed in me and encouraged me to do more. They have helped me financially over and over and over. One of the things that my dad always told me was that he didn't want me to pay him back. When he gave me financial help, he would say, I don't want you to pay me back, but what I want you to do is to remember this. And when your kids need help, I want you to be there for them. And that is what I tell my kids when I help them today. And I know there's no way I would have been able to raise the kids that I raised if I hadn't had the support of my parents. But that is not all. My sister and her husband lived just down the hill from me when I was going to college. And at that time I had 3 small kids. I was working 2 jobs and going to school full time. There's no way I could manage it all. And my sister, Marcy, and her husband, Dave, lived just down the hill from me, and they helped me raise those kids while I was in college. They picked them up from daycare. They fed them dinner. They brought them home to me as soon as I got off of work. It really took all 3 of us to manage that. I also had a period in my life when I lived in Idaho, and I was a single parent, and my brother helped me a lot. One of my kids at the time was giving me a lot of trouble, and he was in his teen years and acting like a teenager. My brother Darren and his son JD, who's actually older than Elijah, stepped in and really helped me guide him in the right direction. I remember JD coming to help me find Elijah at one point when he had gone where he shouldn't have gone, and JD spent hours helping me find him. JD did that because Darren raised him that way. But there are times in Idaho where Darren and his wife Trish helped me in ways I could not help myself, and I am grateful for that help. And I know that I have not been able to help either of them in the way that they helped me. They have just not needed the help that I needed. So I am extremely grateful to them. Why were they there for me? Why did they help me? Because they were raised with that. Because our parents would give anything for us. My mom is one of the most generous people when it comes to her kids and grandkids. She will give anything for them that she can. And my dad is the biggest cheerleader for all of us. He's always encouraging us and helping us and supporting us, and always makes us feel like we are important. As I got older and my kids got older, my life situation changed. I lived in Tooele for many years, and my next door neighbor Cheryl helped me a ton. She taught me so many things. I already knew how to sew and cook, but she really taught me deeper skills in those areas. I've even reached back out to her now as a grandma to talk to her about some of those skills that I learned then that I want to reuse now as a grandma. So she was a huge help to me during my early years as a mom. I went through a very difficult period in my life. We had a traumatic event in our family. We were devastated, and it was the hardest time of my life. And there is someone who was there for me during that time. In addition to my family, my parents and my siblings, I had a friend who stood by me and supported me and listened to me and literally held my hand through it. Julie was, I don't know that I can ever repay Julie for what she did for me during that time. She was there in a way that I needed. She never judged me. She never judged my situation, and she just loved me through it. And she helped me stand back up on my feet and move forward. And I will always be grateful for the help that Julie gave me. Because of that traumatic event that happened, I ended up moving to Kentucky to get a fresh start. While I was in Kentucky, I met another friend that helped me tremendously. Angel is a no mess type of girl. She just tells it like it is. You either accept it or you don't. She taught me to be more like that. She showed me that I have a strength within me that I didn't realize I had. I was in a bad relationship in Kentucky. At the time, I didn't realize it was. I actually continued that relationship much longer than I should have. Angel helped me to see that I deserved better. And even after I left Kentucky and moved to Idaho, Angel was still there for me to help me move through that and gain confidence and strength within myself. So many times I've said to Angel, "You helped me gain confidence." She said, "No, I didn't help you gain the confidence. You already had it, you just had to find it." And it just showed me that what I needed was already here. I just needed to use it. And Angel really helped me see that. And so I'm grateful to Angel for that. But along with Angel during this same time was a friend that helped me in the exact same way, and that is Monica. Monica and I have been friends for a very, very long time. It's kind of an interesting connection. Her ex-husband and my ex-husband are brothers, and we were not married to the brothers at the same time, but because our kids are cousins, we connected and we became very, very close. She was there for me during that bad relationship, and coming out of that bad relationship, I called her every single day on my way home from work, and we would talk, and she would help me break down the day and look at it in a good way and move forward. The other thing that Monica did for me that I'm always grateful for is she introduced me to Grandpa B. She saw something in him and in me that she knew we would be right for each other, and she was right. He is honestly my perfect match. So I'm grateful for that. After Idaho, I moved to Vegas, and I moved to Vegas for a boy because I had met Grandpa B, and he lived in Vegas and I lived in Idaho. After we had dated long distance for a while, I knew that he was different, and I knew that if I didn't move to Vegas and give it a real try, that I would regret it. And it paid off, obviously. But while I was in Vegas, I met a fellow teacher who I connected with immediately. She had just moved to Vegas and had no family in Vegas, and she was the same age as my daughter Ashley, and I lived in Vegas and didn't have any of my older children there. We became very fast friends. She started calling me Mama right away. We actually even got in trouble at work for it. The vice principal, in my opinion, she was jealous that Nikki was closer to me than to her, but whatever. And Nikki is the most generous person. She will do anything for anyone. She's always looking out for the other person and putting other people before her. When I have a bad day, I call Nikki. When I have a good day, I call Nikki, because Nikki is always there for me. She helps me see life in a positive way. She's upbeat and energetic, and she helps me to be more like that. I consider Nikki my bonus daughter because she has fit right into our group, my family, seamlessly. We all adore her and appreciate all that she does for us. I'm sure I've forgotten people who have helped me in my life. There have been many, many, many people who have helped me. These are the people that stood out to me as I was thinking about this, that helped me in ways I could not help myself. I gotta take a coffee break. A tea break. Oh, so good. I am now in a position where I can help my kids more. One way that I have supported them is with groceries. My pantry and freezer are always full. At least once a week, I have one of my kids come and ask for something, and they know they can have it. And what do I tell them? I tell them what my dad told me. Make sure that when your little one is in your situation, that you're there for them. I've had to train a few of my kids, though, to accept help. Why are we so resistant to getting help? I know it's a pride thing and we say, I can do it, I can do it. But when we truly need help, why are we resistant to that? I don't understand that. I would love some discussion around that. Why do we resist help? I would love in the comment box for you to have some conversation with me about why do people not ask for help when they need it? So as you move forward in your week, think about help. How can you help someone, not just financially or helping them do something? How can you help them strengthen themselves within, which is the way my friends have really helped me. Look for ways that you can help people and then do it. But also ask for help when you need it. I hope you have a great week ahead of you. Come back next Thursday and sit down and have a cup of coffee with me in the morning and let's have a chat. Have a great week. See you again soon.